Alright, this is a Pelican Apex 100. I got it on sale at Dick's for under $200. It's an entry-level kayak, and I did some modifications, rigged it up a little bit to fit my needs for fishing. I'll go over a few of those. First off, the load rating on this thing had me a little concerned. It was only 250. I'm 6'3" and weigh right at 250 pounds, so I was a little concerned about how this thing would handle my weight. But after using it for a few times, I'm not concerned at all anymore. This thing handles my weight really well, surprisingly. I get a little bit of water up through the front scupper holes, but it drains pretty well up front. In the back, two scupper holes, I do get quite a bit of water in the back, so I plug those with some foam practice golf balls from Walmart. They're really cheap, and they do a good job of plugging it up back there. I don't really have any problems now. I'm loaded pretty light right now. I usually have a lot more gear than this when I go for catfish, but right now it's just rigged up for bass and snakehead. But I'll go over this stuff. First of all, standard milk crate, obviously, and I added one of those Walmart bucket bag organizers, like that one, or I'm sorry, Home Depot bucket bag organizers, and just cut it in half and mounted it on the milk crate here so I can access my pliers and fish grips and knives, things like that. Keeps it all pretty handy. And just a simple bungee here for a quick access box. PVC rod holders. I like my rod holders to hold the rods over my head, so I just simply reach up and grab a rod, switch out. It's really easy rather than having to turn around. A couple flush mount rod holders. One holds my net, and the other one with the holds the baseball bat for snakeheads. Another thing I got at Walmart pretty cheap is this thing I use for a stakeout pole. It was actually a golf ball retrieval pole, or golf ball retriever. I don't really golf, so I don't know what you need that for, but this thing extends to 15 to 20 feet in a few different sections. It's really easy to use, and I used it for the first time today, and it worked out really well as a stakeout pole. And I used that in conjunction with an anchor caddy system, really simple setup. And I only have it running to the front, and it works out pretty well for me. One thing I did differently than most of the other ones I've seen is I use a figure 9 to hook the stakeout pole or the anchor to, and that works really well. I can adjust the amount of line that leads to the anchor to the stakeout pole really easily. So those things work out really well. And just a simple paddle holder here that holds the stakeout pole. I had the same thing on the other side, just a little paddle holder for the paddle. And then one thing I used is these Amsteel carabiners. They're really popular with ultralight backpackers. A friend of mine made those for me, and they work out really well to hold the paddle leash. They don't flap around like a standard carabiner would. So I like those. You can attach and detach really quickly, and they don't make any noise, and they're really light. So I like those. I added some deck rigging up front, and again, my anchor caddy is really simple. It just hooks to the front handle. So I could clean that up a little bit, but it works out pretty well for me. Overall, for under $200, really pleased with this kayak, and surprisingly, it handles my weight really well. Like I said, I'm 6'3", 250. The weight rating on this thing is maxed out at 250, but with me and all my gear, I haven't had any problems with it. It works really well. Surprisingly, for a 10-foot kayak, it tracks really well. I've read a lot of reviews of guys saying that it doesn't track really well and it really needs a skeg, but I haven't had any problems so far, and it's worked out really well for me, so not a bad deal. A little bit of modifications, good entry-level kayak that'll get you on the water and get you fishing quick and cheap.